Coming up on Good Morning Wilmington, award-winning music director Adam Blackstone stops by to talk about his recent experience at the Super Bowl and the 2022 Oscars. This is an episode you do not want to miss, right here on DETV.
Good afternoon, Wilmington. What's up? It's your main man, Big Iv, the talk of the town, Mr. DETV, CH.com, Mr. Positivity. And today I got a special edition of Good Morning Wilmington. And right now I'm sitting across from the man, the myth, the legend. You might have seen him on stage during the halftime show, you know, on Super Bowl 56, tearing it up, or behind the scenes at the 2022 Oscars, and even hanging out at Coachella. The man who is the founder and the creator of Basic Black Entertainment,
yes.
Mr. Adam Blackstone.
What's up, I?
What's up, baby? How's everything, man?
I'm great, man. All is well. Thanks for having me.
Man, thanks for coming, man.
No
Thanks
problem.
for coming.
Anytime, man. I'm excited to be a Delawarean at this moment, and just seeing everything that you got going on here, man, is a big deal.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And seeing everything that you got going on. We ran across each other, I want to say maybe 9 years ago, was when we first met at
church.
At church.
Yes, sir.
Faith City Church.
That's right. That's right. Pastor Hare.
Pastor Hare,
man.
Yeah,
man. I've developed, I'm sure you have too, so many relationships just from being in that atmosphere and being at church in Delaware, and you know, from musicians to businessmen and women, and you know, it has been good to see us all flourish in what we love to do and see the blessings that, you know, God has bestowed upon us.
Yeah, there you go. We saw your pastor over there. Is that where you started from in the church?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I would say, you know, a little bit of every black kid starts at church, but my family growing up in New Jersey, Trenton, New Jersey, was very prominent in church. My aunties, my uncles, and my mother and father as well, heavy musicians into church. And, you know, just in black culture in general, music is such an integral part of what we do to worship God. And I took that, kind of transitioned and moved into a jazz space when I went into school.
Okay. And what school was that?
University of the Arts in Philadelphia. And also, you know, my dad is a musician and has been a musician all my life, you know, what we would call now like a one-man band type of thing. So just saw that, and even watching him and allowing my mom, you know, the opportunity to give me grace. God gave my mom the opportunity to give me grace to just be and do whatever I wanted to do. I think that growing up helps that positivity, and I just really had no limits, no boundaries on the effect that I think music could have on my career.
Okay, all right. Now with that, like when you first started out, did you even imagine that it was literally going to go this way? Like, what was your intentions growing up? Like, what did you want to do?
It's so many different things. You know, music has impacted my entire life. So from playing video games, and I would like hear music in video games, and that's when soundtracks to video games was going cool, to movie scoring, to teaching music. My mom was a school teacher for, you know, 28 years. So I was like, I'm going to do something in music. Not really sure if I knew it was going to be where I'm at right now, but I knew that music was going to be a big part of my life. And man, moving to Philadelphia for college, like, granted me the opportunity and relationships, and that was one of the best decisions, you know, me and my family ever made.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, what was that changing point? You know, it comes, and it's funny because we become the heroes of today, right? And we watch our parents grow up, and I want to get to like the people that inspired you, and now we have taken their place. Like when you moved to Philadelphia, what was just say your initial, one of your breaks that you remember, like, yo, that's where it started?
Yeah, I think, you know, walking into what is an open mic spot called the 5 Spot in Philly, man, Old City, and it was just an open mic, but at any point anybody could be in there, man, because there was a boom of neo soul. So it was like Jill Scott, Music Soul Child, Kendrick, The Family Soul, The Roots, Jazzy Fat Nasties, Bilal, India Arie, Erykah Badu. Was like anybody could be in there, and I think it being run by The Roots and the late great Richard Nichols, they saw my work ethic to come at times for free. You know what I'm saying? They saw my diligence to, you know, be an early MD. I didn't even know what that title was as musical director, but just to round everybody up and say, hey, we are a team. Like, let's do this. I don't care about the check, nothing, but we're going to represent ourselves.
So it was like the love first.
Oh man, absolutely.
Like forget the check.
For the love. Absolutely for the love. And it's still, you know, those characteristics carry through me today. It is a business, but I will say I always just want to put my best foot forward, regardless of what the amount on the check is. It's like each gig I always say is the audition for the next gig. So it don't matter if you're doing an open mic somewhere local or you at a local church or whatever, or I'm at stage at Coachella. It's like somebody's watching to go to that next thing. You know what I'm saying? So I want to always present myself with greatness, and that started at a young age.
Well, and coming with greatness, and I want to make sure, like, what I love to do is to use our platform, to make sure that we inspire others,
Absolutely.
So, in this conversation, I don't want to say interview, in this conversation we had, I want to make sure that we find those elements that can make the next musical director or the next guy that owns a media TV station, you know, because we all started from somewhere.
For sure.
And it wasn't pretty.
It ain't pretty all the time. Yeah. And it's just a matter of determination. I think a lot of it is self-determination, knowing that you know, you're always in a place to grow. No one, I hate to ever put a stigma on other people that other people are holding you back. You know what I'm saying? I've never been about that. I've always been like, what can I do to further myself? And so that's really, like I said, about self-determination.
How about sacrifice? How much sacrifice like does an Adam Blackstone put out?
I grew up in an age of no social media, you know what I'm saying? So I think that even now, seeing social media, and I read a comment, I think on Christian McBride's page the other day, and stuck with me. He was like, don't forget, social media is like SportsCenter. It's a highlight reel. You know what I'm saying? So we see these great things that we're all doing, which is incredible, and we're so blessed. But the sacrifice of my family at times, the sacrifice of me saying no to certain artists and certain other jobs that I think could propel me somewhere else when I've already tried to keep my word and maintain integrity when I've said yes to something else. You know, even just as small as, you know, taking breaks and taking vacations at time, and my wife is probably the biggest casualty of that. But like, you know, there are some certain calls where she's like, hey babe, no, I think you should do that, or if you're going to do that, let's plan on this later or whatever.
So she brings you back. She brings you back. It wheels you back in.
Yeah, not just wheeling me back in, but you know, I haven't felt like my job has been a burden to our family. You know what I mean? So that makes me keep going. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of sacrifice. And just, you know, if we're getting back to the music side of it, the rehearsals, as a musical director, you're in charge of not just music, but everything. Sometimes I have to go to choreography rehearsals. I got to go to lighting sessions where it's like the hits for my music are affecting what's happening on stage with the light. So I have to check in with the lighting director. You know, I'm spending countless hours on phone calls and what we know now as Zooms, and stuff like that, just trying to get the creative together, because a lot of times for a bigger tour, the music drives the creative.
Exactly.
And so I'm in charge of all of that, and having to you know, take responsibility for a lot of things and a lot of people, for sure.
So like right now, they're showing that you're watching on the screen. This is you. What are you directing here?
Yeah, so this was the 94th 2022 Academy Awards, and this is rehearsal right here. It looks like we're playing something real good and fly with the orchestra. And I had an incredible time doing that.
How was it? What was that experience?
Hardest job I've ever done, but one of the most rewarding, because it for me, it inspired me.
Okay.
It showed that I could do anything in any idiom, and it also showed me how important a team is, because where I am not that strong, I try to build up a caliber of a team that are people that are better than me. Even though I get the credit for being the leader or whatever, if things go wrong, I get blamed for it too.
Understood.
So it's really about me building a team where we all hold each other up.
When you think of yourself, Adam Blackstone, do you think of yourself as the greatest, as the best? What do you think when because everyone out here would say, Adam Blackstone, yo, you're awesome. What do you think about like your work ethic and who you are?
Yeah, I definitely don't put that greatest tag on me, because I know there's things that I am needing to get better at. There are things. I read another quote, like, I've been doing a lot of reading lately.
Understood.
But I read
Same
another
here.
quote the other day that was like, the thing that scares you is the thing that you really want to do.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So at times the musical direction and the live thing comes really easy to me now. That's 20 years of work, so it comes easy to me now. But I really want to get back into songwriting and producing and scoring, and like that's a harder decision to make, because not only is it more time consuming at times, but it also is not a guaranteed income, because until that song gets placed or picked up or makes the movie or the cue gets accepted, you don't really know what's going on. It's a labor of love.
Right,
you know
right,
what I'm saying?
right.
But the long-term reward is the payoff.
Right.
And so, I want to do some more things that scare me.
Okay,
You know
I
what
love
mean?
that, yeah.
And I want to do some things that are transcending, what a normal musical director would normally do. And I've been on that path for a while, but there's other levels to go.
You mentioned the word integrity. How much and what level of integrity do you need to have just being good / great at what you do, or even in the business of entertainment?
That's a personal question for everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Integrity to me is everything. My character, I would rather work with good moral and character people over talent at times.
Why is that?
Well, on the road, we live with each other. We're on stage 80 minutes, 90 minutes, 2 hours max.
Right.
But those other 22 hours where people have to be in your personal space, we have to respect each other's families, each other's boundaries. We have to respect one another as men and women and as adults. Character matters there, you know what I'm saying? And then when you cross that over into the musical side, you want to know that people are putting their best foot forward to represent you. Right. You know what I mean? So then you want to go with somebody that's not necessarily doing things that you wouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? And that stems from so many things. That could stem from, being diligent in the music part, like writing music, and they're doing it lazy, or it could be a drug use or something like that. Well, when people go and represent me and my company, I have to be able to put the stamp of approval. So character matters, because that's how I recommend you. Right. You know what I mean? That's how I put you in the forefront and say, this person represents BBE. Whether I'm there or not, you'll get me out of this person. So character matters.
Definitely matters. Yeah. BBE. Tell people that don't know, what is BBE?
BBE is short for Basic Black Entertainment, and it is a company, a full music staffing company that myself and my wife started when jobs started coming to me that I couldn't handle everything. And at times those artists or those record labels were like, listen, if you can't be there, it's okay. Send us somebody that you trust and just give us your stamp of approval. And I was like, so as that started happening more and more and more, I was like, I can't even take the credit. My wife was like, we need to, make this a thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting, man. I think this is our 10th year. Wow. As a corporation, and it's really transcended, and young musicians know those 3 letters, like when they see it, like
they know what it is.
They know what it is. You know what I mean? And so that's a lot of hard work. Me and my team and my staff, and everybody throughout the years, every musician, every producer, every programmer, every production person, every crew member that has been a part to make BBE what it is. Like I thank them always, and I'm
Right.
super inspired by the things that they're doing now.
Right.
Some people are. You know, one of my guys is Brian Fraser Moore. He's out with Pink right now, and Justin Timberlake and Madonna, and doing all this stuff. And I got people out with Janet Jackson. I got people out with the Jonas Brothers. I got
Right.
people out with, you know, Her Music and Coldplay and all of this. A couple of my tech friends. So, you know, Doja Cat. It's so many people that, you know, we all began under the same umbrella that we've able to establish ourselves in the music industry, branch out and do our own thing. And also when we come back, it's always all family.
It's always love.
Always love.
How important is team for Adam Blackstone?
Yeah, team is everything to me. I'm only as good as my team.
Right.
I used to try to do everything,
Right.
and I realized that I was wearing myself thin a little bit, and then not giving everybody the 100% that they deserved.
Okay.
So now when I'm able to compartmentalize tasks and designate, it helps me be a better creative. I have an incredible executive assistant, Marche Rice. My wife is the CFO, so she handles all the billing.
Right.
And then we have just an incredible team of tour managers and staff. My media person, Troy Knowles. You know, it's like everybody has a job. I'm still very hands-on, and I'm
Right.
trying to. They always be like, yo, let me do this, we got this. But at the same time, you know, this is my baby, man.
Right, I get
He is
you.
a baby. But at the same time, we have established that when people see those letters, they know the team is coming and things are just going to be right. So team plays an important part, a huge part in establishing that foundation.
That transition of being a creative versus being a business owner, was
Yes.
it a hard transition for you?
Every day.
Every day.
Every day. It's
Yeah.
hard, man. We get opportunities to just do business sometimes, and it scares me a little bit because I'm like, you know, my brain is always thinking on the creative end, but not always necessarily our business being the parent to another idea.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And so it's a transition that
Yeah.
we're slowly moving into to almost supersede the creative.
Right.
That's essentially the goal.
Right.
The goal is for me to have worked so hard these last 20 years that the name speaks for itself. You know the quality product, and now we can give it to somebody else through our company.
Right. It's like in the movie with Denzel, it's like Pepsi. It's a brand.
It's a brand.
BBE. It's a brand.
It's a brand name.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I'm dealing with also as a young creative is like, how do I go from creative to like certified business?
Absolutely.
Right, and then, but it's all about having that team, delegation,
Yeah.
integrity, and having the right people around you. That
I
you can-
remember one of my mentors, Warren Campbell, is a super producer. He told me he was playing keyboards or bass for like an artist, I think it was Brandy or something. And he said he knew he wanted to be a producer. He had to say no from going on the road, so people just looked at him as a producer. And so us as businessmen, we're gonna have to make that transition at a point and say, listen, that was my old self. This is what my company and we're doing now, and it's going to be looked at as a stepping stone in a business decision more than anything.
Yeah.
So,
Super Bowl 56.
yes.
Man, what was that phone call like?
Uh,
Because first, look,
so I got.
we
Go ahead.
sat here, right? This is how do we do it? We was like we gonna have a Super Bowl party, right?
Okay.
It was about three of us got together, and we didn't know what to expect. We
Yeah.
knew, okay, Dre was going to be on, you know, and we're sitting here. We're actually in here watching the Super Bowl on this screen right here.
All right, that's a
Right.
big screen.
Bruh, we turned the music up, halftime. Everybody like, shut up. And we're like, whoa.
Man.
What the heck was that phone call like?
Yeah.
And just to get there, look. and man, you were having a ball.
I had a blast, man. That to me was really for the culture. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
African American hip hop, just to show that we belong on those big main stages. We can do it along with any country act, any pop act, whatever. And it really, I wanted to do something to help push culture forward.
Yes.
And I I think we succeeded.
So how was it? Because I don't know how it works as a music
process.
director.
Yeah.
I don't know the processes, right? So like they already had the artist, or you got the artist?
No. So Pepsi and Jay-Z and Roc Nation each year, they go out to their wish lists of artists. You know what I mean? And I think knowing that the Super Bowl, I think is 4 years ahead projected as far as the city.
Okay.
Through the NFL.
Okay.
You know, you see LA.
Right.
You like, okay, we just did Shakira, J-Lo, you know, big, you know, Latina.
Right. Big following.
Incredible, you know, show they did. I had did Justin Timberlake before that. I think The Weeknd was right after that. And so not knowing that there hadn't been a hip hop halftime announced. There's been guests in hip hop. Puff came out a bunch of times, Nelly, you know, Beyonce with Bruno Mars, and so, you know, there's been, but not like an announced, you know, this is who is headlining, headliner. And I remember, sounds like a flex, but I remember after Shakira, J-Lo hitting Jay-Z on a text, I said, I got an idea. I said, next year is in LA. I was like, what do we did? Dre and Snoop. I'm like, ooh, it's gonna be crazy. He said, already done. So, you know, I think he had put the bug in Dr. Dre's ear and they went through their own process. Dre then called me around October-ish and was like, yo, we're gonna do this. I need you a part. And I had been working with Dr. Dre since 2012 on a couple of different live things. We did Coachella with the Tupac hologram.
Yeah.
And he had come out on a bunch of Eminem shows as well. I MD Eminem. So our relationship musically was established, and he's just such a freaking genius, man. It was my honor to receive that phone call from him. And yeah, and that's you know, that's when it starts. That's a October through February whole every day.
It looked like you were in a, like, you just clicked on. As a creative, I know you clicked on, but you was just in the zone.
I was in the zone, man. It felt really, really good.
Wow.
It felt really, really good. And, you know, I always love the fact that, you know, when people trust my vision, I'm able to even be a little more creative and push those boundaries because they already know, like, yo, Adam has my best interest at heart.
There you go.
Musically.
Again, back to integrity and character.
Back to integrity and character, for sure. And just, you know, I don't want to do anything to make them look bad.
Right.
So I ain't gonna do nothing to make myself look bad either. You know, I'm gonna try not to anyway.
Right.
So yeah, it turned out really, really good. I had an incredible time. My cast and crew of musicians, just the best in the world. We camped out in LA for a couple weeks and got it together, man. Tried to present the world with a special project.
Oh, it was a special project, bro. It was,
Thank you,
we I don't know if here at DETV, we definitely gave you a standing ovation, man.
That's what's up. Thank you so much.
Definitely.
Thank you, DETV.
The phone call of the Oscars right after the Super Bowl. Come on, talk to me about this wave, man.
Yeah, I got that call, man. I was on I was at Goju. Around the corner.
On the riverfront.
On the riverfront.
Yeah.
Yep, I was at Del Pez, and I saw this phone number come up, and it was Rob Payne from CBS, and like I was like, hey, he is like, you know, man, we want you to be the musical director for the Academy Awards, and I was like, cool.
Drinks for everybody.
I literally said to him, I said, great. So what does that mean? Because that's one of those gigs where, you know, it's not a specific artist, it's not a specific genre. It's a 4-hour show.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking about all of that while he's asking me that. And he said, we'll get back to you. So that was around Christmas, I'll never forget. So in my head going into the new year, I was like, God, you got to give me strength. You got to prepare me mentally. You know, I talked to my family as well. Like, so often I made sure that the team was strong. I tried to set it up in advance, like, guys, this is what we're doing. And also forgotten in between that, I do one of my favorite gigs is NBA All-Star Weekend. So we had Earth, Wind & Fire on for the 75th year of the NBA, where they did the 75 announcements. Yeah. And so I had to do that in between Super Bowl and Oscars. So it got really busy, man, and I thankfully made it through. I think everything was a success.
Yeah.
And we're pushing forward, looking forward to this summer. Got some big things going on with BBE this summer.
What you got going on?
Oh, man. Well, one of the things
Remember, BBE is a brand.
Yes. One of the things I'm really proud of is going back to my roots, no pun intended, and being a part of the Roots Picnic, which is being held in Philadelphia June 4th and 5th.
Right.
And like I said in the beginning, those guys really adopted me when I came to Philly. They put me on.
Yeah.
Everybody knows I still say Questlove is my MD.
Right.
And so I'm excited to lend my talents to them and the Roots Picnic. So that's going to be great. My NBC show, That's My Jam, with Jimmy Fallon, got picked up for season 2 as well.
Nice.
So we are going to be filming that June and July. So everybody tune into that.
Okay.
As well. So incredible variety series hosted by Jimmy Fallon.
That wave is here.
It's here. And and then August, I'm hoping end of July, August, those Emmy nominations come out.
Talk to them.
For Super Bowl or Fenty or Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or
Brother need an Emmy.
Oscars, whichever they want to vote for, man. I'm really excited about that, and then culminating the year, preferably I'm gonna be releasing an album soon.
Okay.
And so,
where do you have the time to do that?
Yeah,
man?
I have to find it. I have to find it. All the while, my son's turning 7, my daughter's turning 2.
Congrats.
My wife has a birthday coming up.
Oh my gosh.
My mama's birthday just passed. My sister's birthday coming up. This is just it's a lot, man.
Right.
It's a lot.
So you got 20 years in the game.
Yeah.
You've done a lot. Crazy work ethic. Then can you name some of the artists that you worked with?
That I
know you got Pink, Justin Timberlake. You got Adam Levine.
Yeah, I tell this story. This kind of summarizes real quick, and this is so many more in between. But 2003, man, Amir Questlove Thompson, he brought me into a gig with Jay-Z. It was Jay-Z's farewell concert.
I remember that.
At Madison Square Garden.
I remember that.
Fade to Black.
Yes.
Questlove was the MD. I just played bass, but I met this kid from Chicago, pink polo shirt. He was like, yo, I like what you're doing here. After this, you should come rock with me. I'm like, cool. This is the importance of relationship building. Right. That ended up being Kanye West, right? From Kanye, I worked with Kanye for a very long time through the mid-2000s. I met this girl from Barbados. She was opening for us. She was like, yo, I like what you're doing with Ye, when Ye's chilling, like, come rock with me. That was Rihanna. Right. From Rihanna, I met this light-skinned kid from Toronto, new rapper or whatever.
Right.
That ended up being Drake. And then through Drake and the Kanye thing, Jermaine Dupri came to our show. He said, hey, man, my girl is going out on the road. She's looking for somebody. I was like, oh, yeah, call me, man.
Who's your girl?
Yeah, that ended up being Janet Jackson, right? And then from Janet, they shared some similar management. I went over and met Justin, and that's just that was from like 2004 to 2013, and so from 2013 till now, I've developed so many more relationships, and at a point, even on BET Awards, I had like 5 artists on the awards that the producer of the show was like, yo, I might as well just hire you for the show, you know what I mean, for lack of a better term. And I said, yeah, I would love that. So even since 2014-15, I've been MDing like BET Awards, which have led to several other shows, Image Awards and Sunday Best, countless other award shows. So it's been great, man. The relationship building has been great. I'm really ready to, really put my foot in the business aspect of it now, and, let these young kids take these instruments and kill it, man. They're so talented. I see so many Adam Blackstones out there and them doing what I used to do and what I'm doing now, and they have the potential to take it even farther.
What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think just remain humble. Don't let social media, influence you as far as like where you think you should or shouldn't be. You know, God has a time for everybody.
Right.
This is your moment. Live in your moment. Let my moment be my moment. Let your moment be your moment. And what is for us is just for us.
Right.
There's a path that everybody has to take, and only you know what that path is.
Right.
And just, you know, remain a person of good character, and then master your craft. Because when that opportunity comes, it's a lot of luck.
Right.
But you gotta have preparation with that luck. You can't get called for that gig and then be like, darn, I really don't even know this song or know this artist or know whatever. I remember, man, I got called to do Janet Jackson, and, you know, my household was sick of me, bro. I was like living like I was Janet music for, you know, 90 days. Like I just consumed because I wanted it to be a part of my DNA. So when I finally got a chance to play for her and meet her, I knew where she was coming from musically. You know what I'm saying? So those type of preparation things, that goes with anybody. When I do Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, or when I do Rascal Flatts, it's like I'm really diving into that country. I don't want to just rely on skill. I want it to be ingrained in me, because when I make a musical choice to do something arrangement-wise or a chord, I don't want it to feel like hip hop.
Right.
I want it to be authentic to what it is, and same with any other genre. So it's about preparation, about studying your craft, and then, you know, I always say, like, listen to those people who are where you want to be. You know what I'm saying? Surround yourself with people that are better than you at what you do. If you the best in your circle, then that's not. You know, you need a new circle.
does ego fit anywhere in this business?
I'm gonna say no, but the ego and confidence is a different thing.
Right.
You
It's
know
a
what I'm
fine
saying?
line.
It's a very, very fine line. I think you have to be confident at what you do, because the artists want to make sure that they hired you for a reason and you know what you're doing.
Right.
That's not about being boasting or being egotistical, though. Ego is something that'll have you downplaying people or downplaying situations. You know, confidence will have you just saying, I'm ready for this. I'm prepared for this. I've worked hard for this moment. So there is no room for ego, but there is a lot of room for self-confidence, for sure.
Have you ever felt like giving up, quitting?
You know, one moment comes into my mind where I was a little overwhelmed with jobs, and people would even have looked at, you know, my musical life and be like, man, you on top. But, you know, without getting into too much detail, my family, me and my wife were trying to have a baby, and I was boggled down with work, and I felt like I couldn't give, you know, that attention that was needed. So I was like, man, this music means nothing if when I come home, you know, things aren't right. You know what I'm saying? And so I had to just take a chill period and get my health together and get my mind right. And, you know, here I am, you know, trying to be the best father now of 2 beautiful children. And, you know, letting music not necessarily drive my life.
Right.
Letting it be a job that I love to do. Don't get me wrong. I'm blessed to love what I do.
Right. It's a difference.
But I, you know, I might get crucified for saying this, but music is not my life.
Right.
You know what I'm
What's
saying?
your life?
It's my job. My family is my life. People know, you know, I've done probably the last 3 Super Bowls and like get on a red eye and go home. You know what I'm saying? Or it's like, you know, I last week at Coachella, I like drove to catch a red eye to come home because it was Easter. I'm like, I can't miss my baby girl in her Easter dress. You know what I mean? So family is my life. I take pride in that. I love music. I'm so blessed to do music. I'm so blessed to call it my job. But at the end of the day, if the family ain't right, you know, and you know, nobody wins that way. You know what I mean? I can't be my best self for the people that I'm working for. I can't be my best creative self to myself if I know home is not right. So, you know, I take pride in, you know, knowing that home is good, knowing that if somebody needed something in my family, you know, extended family, I'm blessed to try to help and provide that access or whatever. And just, you know, really, you know, passing it forward.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of opportunities that I have, man, to be in buildings and spaces and floor seats and Super Bowls and
Right.
stuff like that I would love to have had growing up. But now I'm gonna bring my son, I'm gonna bring my little
Right.
cousins,
Right.
and I'm gonna bring my nephews, you know what I mean? Like, you know, for them to see that this is attainable.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It is not a dream. It's not far-fetched. Like, we are here. And like, now let's screw listening to the music at the game. Let's own the team.
Yeah.
Let's own the arena.
Yes.
Let's, you know, what are things that we can do? I look at this beautiful structure, man, and just like, you know, to me, this is an avenue to letting people all over the world see and hear the product. You know what I mean? Not just making the product.
Exactly.
Let's get it out into the world. So things like that, I want to give access to specifically young, you know, brown and black children.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yep.
All right, you're the musical director, and you have to come up with a show about your life, right?
Okay.
What would you title it?
Ooh, this is
And
a good
who
question.
would you have? What artist would you have there playing?
Okay, so I'm going to say the title would be Legacy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because another thing I've read was just like, and I see different cultures do this daily.
Right.
But the generation before them will work super hard so that their name supersedes the next generation.
Understood.
So you're already great just because you have this name.
They have that name. Right. I'm with you.
Whether it's, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but whether it's the Trump or a Biden or an Obama or whatever, it's like those, you know, seniors have worked so hard
Right.
so that their kids could just have a level of access that they didn't have. And so that's what I'm also trying to do. So legacy is super important to me.
Understood.
You know, I think it starts with musically, maybe like with Take Six. I remember riding with my dad, just listening to Take Six and like, yo, there's no instruments. Like, what is that harmony?
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
That was a big part of
That's
like,
interesting, okay.
Yeah, like my harmonic structure. I think about, you know, listening to, you know, my senior high school jazz band, which was led by my man Derek Hodge, who is an incredible bassist and musician and artist. But he played a song called Caravan. And so these are just songs that I know just stick out for me. So I remember then, you know, moving to Philly and then listening to a gang of like Slum Village.
Yes.
And, you know, Erykah Badu and all the Soul Aquarian type of things.
Yes.
And then, you know, Mary is like a huge influence on like me and what I listen to, Brandy. But then, you know, my friends, man, my peers, the Origin Band, you know, Contraband. I listen to Floetry live with all my dudes. I listen to Jill Scott live. Like, these people have been my friends for such a long time. They just inspire me.
Right.
So it's I mean, the music concert of my life is just a little bit limitless and you know, ranges everything from classical to jazz to gospel to opera to hip hop to R&B to country. You know, all of those idioms make up who I am.
Right.
Honestly. You know what I mean? All of those areas, all of those cities, you know, traveling across the world, you know, going to Africa for the first time with like NERD. It was great. I just walked through Botswana. They're like cooking meat outside on a fire. I'm like, you know, every black person should go to Africa.
I hear that all the time. Like, you gotta go to Africa.
It's like, it you know, down the street is like a street paved with gold, and this looks like just heaven and castles. And then right down the street, we still have unfortunate circumstances of people living in huts without water, and you know, living outside and wearing the same clothes and stuff like that. So it is a eye-opening experience to, you know, feel where we came from in our motherland, but also just have a sense of gratitude for whatever situation that you're in. It can always be worse. Whatever situation you're in, it doesn't matter what it is. Well, I'm not just talking gigs, I'm talking in life. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely
Humbling experiences like that have helped shape who I am, and then, you know, listening to, you know, music from abroad as well and bringing it back here to infuse it into American culture. It's just been a great ride, man. I'm so thankful.
Man, look, again, man, thank you so much for coming by, man. Appreciate it, good brother. Tell people where they can find out more about Adam Blackstone and BBE.
Yeah, no problem. I am at Adam Blackstone on Instagram and Twitter. AdamBlackstone.com is my website as well. My company also has a page at Basic Black. That's BASSICBLACK, and both there on Instagram and Twitter as well. And man, hopefully catch me on one of your local or national television shows.
The name of the show coming out with Jimmy Fallon?
Yeah, That's My Jam. We are on season 2. Be on NBC coming up soon, and you can stream that also on Peacock.
There you go. Look. So what we're going to do here at DETV, we're going to already congratulate you for winning that Emmy. Okay? We're already going to congratulate you for that.
I receive it.
Well deserved, man. Put in over 20 years of work, of hard labor, and to what you love. So, brother, I really appreciate you for
Thank you for having me, man. Everything that you're doing here is awesome. I've been in Delaware now for about 16 years. So, you know, just to see this process, you know, and us to meet, you know, almost 9 years ago. You know, congratulations on everything you're doing.
Thank you, brother.
If you need anything, you know, you got me.
Same here. Same here. Anytime you want to let the people know, you got a guy that owns a network.
There it is. There it is.
And we want to make sure that we, where's my camera? Where's the camera going at? Boom, go to the middle. We want to make sure that we want to just spread the love and let everyone know what's going on in Delaware and the great people that's around in Delaware. Here at DETV. Again, the man, the myth, the living legend, Adam Blackstone, musical genius. And make sure you tune in tomorrow. I think we got coming up next, maybe later on this evening, is the news, or it might be a cooking show. What is it, Najee? What's coming up? News coming up, DETV News. Make sure you stay tuned, like, share, subscribe. And as my motto goes and my mantra goes, if you see someone out there that's in need, feed them. If you see them out there and they're in need, clothe them, hug a stranger, and be the light that God wants you to be. All right? I'll see you on the other side. This is your main man, Big Ive. The talk of the town, Mr. DETVCH. And Vincenzo, I miss you. I'll see you tomorrow live, 10 o'clock. Good morning, Wilmington.